No matter what, whether you like it or not, ang dami pa rin mga Filipinos trust si Vice President Inday Sara Duterte. Ito po ang latest updates sa mayroon tayo dito po sa Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico. This is the latest updates that I have in dito po in our program, Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico. And today is February 12, no? Feb 12 na po. And it's Thursday. It's Thursday. Welcome each and every one of you, be it Filipinos in Malaysia, our Malaysian friends, overseas Filipino workers sa iba-ibang parte ng mundo, and of course, senior citizens, super senior citizens po, welcome na welcome kayo po dito sa programa natin. Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico. Dito tayo po sa Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and follow. And today, we have some issues, and I will be focusing more on ito po, no? Impeachment of Inday Sara Duterte. No? Impeachment of Inday Sara Duterte. There were already 3 submission of impeachment complaint, and all the 3 impeachment complaint already forwarded to the office of the House Speaker, si Speaker Faustin D. III. And let's see po, what's the latest? What will happen during this? Will there be a 1/3 a decision, or it will follow the procedures just like what happened to the second or 2 impeachment complaints against Pangulong Jr. or against President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos po. I am closely monitoring itong situation so that you will be able to know po, no? Lahat kayo, mga followers ko po dito sa Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico, you will be properly informed. But in the meantime, ito po, let's touch on the, ano ba talaga? Do you believe or you don't believe that there is still a lot of Filipinos who support and trust Inday Sara Duterte or Vice President Inday Sara Duterte compared to our Pangulong Jr. and of course the Senate President, Vito or Vicente Soto. And alam na natin, you heard a lot of things about what is happening in the Philippines, both in the Congress and of course in the Senate. And it's very controversial, hot issues po. And it is for these reasons that I religiously follow the developments in the Philippines po. Hindi lang dahil I want to get the news, but also I want that our followers or ang followers ko po dito sa Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico will be properly informed. Okay, let me read an article which is published in the Philippines today po, February 12, no? Regarding trust rating of our top officials in the Philippines. And the heading of this story goes this way: more Pinoys trust Sara Soto than Marcos Paul. Alright? Maraming mga Pilipino still trust kay Inday Sara Duterte compared to President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos and si Senate President Vicente Soto. Nandito po ang detalles. More Filipinos are satisfied with the performance of Vice President Sara Duterte, and of course, meron din po kay Senate President Vicente Soto III than President Marcos, according to the Social Welfare Station or SWS 2025 fourth quarter survey. The results of the November 24 to 30 survey released just this week po, last Tuesday, survey released Tuesday showed that 54%, 54% po of the respondents were satisfied with Duterte's performance. Ibig sabihin po, 54% na satisfied sila sa performance ni Inday Sara Duterte. It was slightly up from 52% she obtained in a similar poll in September. Ano ito, no? 54, 2 points increase ang trust rating ni Inday Sara Duterte. Those who were dissatisfied with her drop from 30% to 26%, while undecided respondents hardly moved from 17% to 19%. This gave Duterte's a net satisfaction rating of moderate plus 28. Ibig sabihin po, plus 28 ang trust rating ni Inday Sara Duterte, and it is classified under moderate, up from her moderate 12 or plus 22 rating in September. Soto obtained a net satisfaction rating of moderate also, or plus 16, comprised of 46% who were satisfied and 30% who were dissatisfied with his performance. 21% were undecided. He had a rating of plus 17 or 47% satisfied, 30% dissatisfied in September, the month he assumed the Senate presidency. SWS earlier released Marcos satisfaction rating, which stayed at neutral -3. -3 po. It was composed of 40% who were satisfied and 43% dissatisfied with his performance. Marcos ratings hardly moved from the neutral -5 or 39% satisfied, 44% dissatisfied that he obtained in September poll. The latest SWS survey showed that 33% of respondents were satisfied with the performance of Speaker Boji D, up from 30% in September. Those who were dissatisfied with him stayed at 28%, while undecided respondents increased 29% to 32%. Yun po ang latest news na nakuha natin tungkol sa satisfaction ratings ng mga top officials natin dyan po sa gobyerno. Whether you like it or not, still, Inday Sara Duterte on top on the list. Followed by Senator Tito Soto. And of course, bumaba din ang sabi natin na trust rating, satisfaction rating ni President Bongbong Marcos. But that was November. So with all the developments po, no, it changed. Let's wait for another survey, no, results kung ano na ang latest po, kasi ngayon nandito na po, nandito na mga sabihin natin some initial reports on the flood control projects, on the sabihin natin impeachment case, no, cases both of Inday Sara Duterte and President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos. Kasi the rating that I have just mentioned just now po, this was done last year, November, fourth quarter of the year. So let's see po what will happen in the what will be the result in the first quarter of 2026. All right. So okay, today, as what I said, we are going to touch about the impeachment of Inday Sara Duterte. Ano ba itong impeachment ni Inday Sara Duterte? Ang impeachment ni Inday Sara Duterte po, may tatlong impeachment already, and all three were transmitted already to the office of the House Speaker, si House Speaker Faustin D. III. And let's see po whether it will be transmitted to the Justice Committee of the House of Representatives, wherein they will verify it, they will do some hearings kung it is necessary, kasi mayroon silang yun fast track mode. Fast track mode is yun po 1/3 votes, 1/3 votes from the 300 plus congressmen po. Fast track, and this is what they use during the impeachment complaint filed against Inday Sara Duterte last year po, no? I don't know whether they are going to use it also this year po, ang fresh impeachment complaint against Inday Sara Duterte. or they will follow itong what happened to the two impeachment complaints against BBM or President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos, wherein the Justice Committee or Committee on Justice ng House of Representatives will have to see first, whether sufficient in form and sufficient in substance ang tatlong complaints against Inday Sara Duterte. Okay? So, let me share with you, mga kaibigan na kababayan at mga kapatid ko po who's listening or watching itong programa, Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico on Thursday morning, na let me share with you some video clips po, no? Some video clips regarding itong impeachment, impeachment complaint against Inday Sara Duterte. And to start with, alright, let me share with you itong video clip po. Andito po, hold on. Medyo maingay din ang mga aso natin. Mayroon tayo ditong tatlong aso. You come here, come. Okay? So, tatlo ito. Come. I will, si Tero, I will introduce you si Tero po. Ito po si Tero. Babae ito po. Okay, Tero, you see there? Okay, welcome. Welcome ang mga followers natin sa Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico. So, tatlo yan sila po. And we have si Tero and T-Rex and Tylo po. No? So, kung minsan kung marinig kayo, they are running. So, ano lang yan po. 1,000 apology kasi kung minsan excited din ang mga sabihin natin ang mga aso natin. Okay, say goodbye. Bye. Alright. Okay, umpisa tayo po. Dito lang siya po sa ano natin eh. She always wants to sit down with me dito sa Alright. So, tuloy natin po ang alright, tuloy natin po ang programa natin na itong Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico. Okay, let me share with you ang first video clip natin. Ang first video clip natin dito po is this is an interview made by Karen Davila. Karen Davila is one of the well-respected media personalities in Manila po, and magandang mga topics na po, no? Maganda ang mga topics niya. So, let's watch and listen. And ang topics nila po more on itong impeachment of Inday Sara Duterte, and she is interviewing the legal team, lawyer ni Vice President Inday Sara Duterte, and that is Attorney Michael Poa, no? So, let me share with you po, no? Let me share with you itong video clip muna po.
Is the Vice President,
Hold on,
is the Vice President responding to the 3 impeachment complaints?
Well, she's still business as usual. The Vice President always expected another round of impeachment complaints. So I can say that this really did not come as a surprise to her, nor did it come as a surprise to the defense team. So ano lang po siya, no? I would say high spirits pa rin, unfazed, still going about her duties as the Vice President. In fact, just a few days ago, she was in Zamboanga. So tuloy-tuloy pa rin naman po yung trabaho.
Oo, parang isa.
Okay, tuloy-tuloy pa rin ang trabaho ni Vice President Inday Sara Duterte, and early this week, she went to Zamboanga City and attend itong problema or the sinking of MV Tricia Christine Tripo, wherein as of yesterday, more than, I think, 52 already confirmed dead po, no? And it happened, I think, January 26 yata yon, no? So, sabihin natin na isang committee dyan po sa House of Representatives, they are investigating itong tragedy which happened dyan po sa Basilan. Okay, the other video clip that I want to share with you, mayroon tayong dito several video clips, and we are talking about the impeachment or impeachment of Inday Sara Duterte. Nandito po ang second video clip natin po. Please listen carefully.
First and foremost, Ma'am Karen, ang ating Vice President and the Vice President already categorically stated that she does not know Ramil Madriaga, no? The personal level, and definitely not at the level that she would even give instructions to Ramil Madriaga. That's all I can say for now, because obviously everything else comes into our strategy pagdating sa defense. But even one of the people named in his affidavit, Colonel Lachica, if I'm correct, no, actually filed a case against Ramil Madriaga not long ago. No, I think the case was on perjury or cyber libel, one of them, or at least, or even both of them. So, meron ng ganyang information na dumating sa amin, and we're prepared. When this affidavit came out around 2 months ago, the defense team also anticipated and expected that this would be included in the impeachment complaints, which is true enough. Nandun nga siya, no? Especially linking to the confidential fund issue. So, we are prepared to address his affidavits and his claims point by point to belie the statements made in the affidavit.
Alright, sabi ni Michael Poa, ready na ready, they are prepared to face in the event there will be impeachment trial against Inday Sara Duterte. Okay, another question raised by Karen Davila during the interview po is, totoo ba ito? Si Madriaga, Madriaga po, bagman ni Inday Sara Duterte. Because this is what Madriaga is claiming, that self-proclaim ito, that he is the bagman of Inday Sara Duterte. Let's watch and listen ang reply ni Attorney Michael Poa on this issue po.
Actually, your best guess is as good as ours, no? Because exactly that's the point. Tama po kayo, that's the picture that's trying to be painted in that affidavit, na siya yung bagman. And to be able to establish that, you have to establish trust and of course closeness to the principal. And so that's where the defense will start, just to show that there is no relationship whatsoever between the Vice President and Ramil Madriaga, and then we'll take it from there.
Okay.
All right, now, so that's the point. Now, they are going to focus during the trial, if it will happen po, kung may trial po, that is one of the aspect that they're going to prove that there is nothing to do between Madriaga and Vice President Inday Sara Duterte. Ibig sabihin, they will prove, they will show evidences that the Madriaga's claim that he is the bagman of Inday Sara Duterte is absolutely baseless and untrue. All right? Okay, also ask about kasi ang impeachment complaint against Inday Sara Duterte also focus on the intelligence and confidential funds. Intelligence and confidential funds. So, let's hear anong reply naman ni Attorney Poa when asked to comment on this issue.
I think you're referring to the confidential funds. So, pagdating po sa confidential funds, the Vice President would always say, back then, nasasagutin lang na yan at the appropriate forum. And then she felt that the budget hearings were not the appropriate forum. And we have to remember that pagdating sa mga confidential activities or intelligence operations, there are rules, no, in terms of disclosure. In fact, there are laws that prohibit disclosure of confidential information to the public. So that is probably one of the reasons why. No? And we're not just using this because I know to some people this might appear to be a legal excuse, but actually if you look, there was an article not long ago that came out, a couple of days ago that came out, no, yung danger when you expose details of confidential information operations, specifically on informants. No? About 2 days ago, I read an article about a 74-year-old woman who was murdered, no, because precisely that, na tagged siya as an informant. So there are dangers to that, and that's why we have to be very careful about disclosing such information in public.
Alright, klarong-klaro po, no? Klarong-klaro po ang response made by Michael Poa, the defense, one of the defense legal team ni Inday Sara Duterte. Diyan po, in the event there will be an impeachment complaint or trial against Inday Sara Duterte. More on this confidential funds po. Let's continue to listen ang statement ni Attorney Michael Paul.
Of course, our position is not,
No.
no?
Yeah.
But let me just clarify, Ma'am Karen, the 120, the 500 million budget, and then the 125 spent in 11 days, allegedly, that is an issue regarding the OVP. But the thing sa DepEd, I believe it was around 150 million budget,
Très bon choix. Ce complexe
was 112.5, if I'm not mistaken. So, but in any case, that doesn't change the question. No? Yeah, we will address this head on. We will show that hindi naman porket sinabi mong 11 days, may katiwalian na kaagad yan. Diba? I mean, the government spends more than that on a daily basis in its operation. It just depends on the situation, yung context, ano ba yung bakit ba nagkaroon ng 11 days, all these things, kailangan maipaliwanag. And we're not denying that, no? Kailangan maipaliwanag natin ang mabuti to sa publiko. And pagdating naman sa DepEd, it's true that there are co-op findings, but what we always fail to, at least from what I've heard, no, dun sa ating mga complainants, is that what is always failed to be mentioned is the fact that DepEd was actually issued credit notices for its use of confidential funds for at least 2 quarters. No, ibig sabihin ng credit notice from COA is that in their evaluation, tama naman yung documentation at wala naman silang nakitang pagkakamali. Of course, that's a very technical term for COA, but just to explain it, meron pong credit notices sa DepEd. Yan yung parati kasi hindi na may mention. Now, with OPP, it's true that there were COA findings, there was notice of disallowance, but that notice of disallowance remains pending with the Commission audit because we filed a petition for review, which is part of the process.
Now, my last
Alright, yun po. Everything will be made clear in the event there will be an impeachment trial against Inday Sara Duterte. As you remember, the reason why Inday Sara Duterte refused to answer on this kind of on this specific issue po, confidential funds po, because she wants it to answer this issue sa tamang panahon, right time, and right platform. No? Right platform po. So, I think in the event there will be an impeachment trial, then Inday Sara Duterte, as according to Attorney Michael Poa, the team, legal team, will answer and made it very clear to everybody, all Filipinos po, no? How or what is really the truth of this confidential funds po, no? Magkano ba yun? 500 na 600 plus. One is the 1.25 million spend 11 days, and yun po ang the other one is yun 500 plus million confidential funds. So let's see po, no? And in the meantime, tuloy natin ang video clip. Video clip po. Let me share you another video clip po.
Yes, Ma'am Karen. My personal view there, and even a view as a lawyer, is that look, there are there are allegations against the president, there are allegations against the vice president. And as you said, no, kahit na malaki yung kabila, mas malaki yung kabila compared to that those alleged against the vice president. Sa akin naman, we just have to have a uniform standard, no? Because every single peso counts. So whether it's politically motivated or not, I will just leave that to our kababayans. Lahat naman tayo nanonood ng balita. Lahat naman tayo, I think we have our own opinions. But despite the different variance in the amounts, I should say that there's a need to still address all allegations, even if mas maliit to, mas malaki yun. So that's what the defense is focused on. Pagdating sa political motivation, of course, it's an impeachment proceeding and it's a political issue, hindi ba? But nonetheless, there are allegations and we still have to, regardless of the motivation behind them, we still have to address these allegations para maliwanagan yung taong bayan. But
Okay, yun po, no? Ang question dyan po is itong impeachment, no? Whether they will follow itong what happened kay BBM, Pangulong Junior, wherein ang Justice Committee carried out hearings and to find out whether there is sufficient informed or the impeachment complaint is sufficient informed and sufficient in substance. So, narinig natin the past few days that there are two modes in approaching ito impeachment complaint against VP Sara or against anybody impeachable officer. One is the fast-tracking mode, wherein kuha sila ng 1/3 of the total congressman dyan po sa House of Representatives. And the second mode is, yun po, ang proseso talaga, wherein it will be forwarded to the Justice Committee, and the Justice Committee will carry out hearings to find out whether the complaint is sufficient in form and sufficient in substance. In the event it is sufficient in substance, no? Hindi bala na if sufficient in form and substance. In the event they pass, then the Justice Committee will forward it to the plenary po. Ang plenary will discuss it again po and scrutinize, and they will be voting. No? Kung makuha sila ang majority votes, no, approval, then it will be sent to the Senate. No? And then the Senate will decide whether there will be impeachment trial or not. Alright. So yun po. That is the situation. Whether, nagtanong si Karen Davila, whether ang team ni Inday Sara Duterte, sila Attorney Michael Poa, are they optimistic that there will be fairness? Fairness in checking or deliberating itong impeachment complaint against Vice President Duterte. Andito, ito ang sagot ni Attorney Mike Poa. Let's watch and listen to this po. Hold on.
I don't want to put words into the mouth of the Vice President since I'm no longer her spokesperson per se. But as far as the defense team is concerned, we would like to be optimistic in terms of fairness. We would like to give the lawmakers, being duly elected officials and representatives of their constituents, the benefit of the doubt na magkakaroon ng fairness, meaning kung ano yung naging standard doon sa impeachment complaints laban sa ating Pangulo, they will apply the same standards. Now, because it's too early for us to pass judgment, just to be fair to them, it's too early for us to pass judgment. And we've heard even Representative Luis Ros saying they do aim to apply the same standards. So we will expect that and we will be hopeful for that. Now, kung hindi mangyayari yun, maybe we will have a different conversation then. No? But right now, I would like to urge everyone to just, give the lawmakers the benefit of the doubt. Nandiyan ang proseso. We're willing to go through the process. And we'll see. Of course, again, politics plays a role. But as lawyers, we would like to present a solid defense, solid enough, that kahit na alam nating may partisan politics involved, mahihirapan sila na maging unfair to the Vice President. Yan lang naman ang target ng defense team because we do believe that even if politics is involved, there are limitations. So as long as we are able to explain and show proof, and we'll just leave it up to them. We'll leave it to the wisdom of Congress. Now, kung makita na unfair, there are legal remedies at makikita din naman ng taong bayan yan.
Okay, yan po ang sagot ni Michael Poa. And all the best to the legal team of Inday Sara Duterte. In the event, there will be a impeachment trial against her po. And all the best also. Yan mga ang decision, ang responsibilities that they will be carrying out itong House of Representatives po when it comes to checking the substance form of the impeachment complaint against Inday Sara Duterte. No? Sana there will be fairness. And of course, as expected, the whole world, not only the Philippines, no? The whole world will be watching itong proseso, the process of the impeachment complaint against Inday Sara Duterte. Yan po, that's the issue that I want to share with you today po. But before we are going to conclude, or I will conclude this program today po, on a Thursday morning, Feb 12 na tayo po, narinig ba ninyo na mayroon din mga istorya ngayon lumalabas po about messages, no? May ebidensya si Representative Leandro Leviste about connecting itong ang message ni Undersecretary Adrian Bersamin connecting President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos sa kickback scandal. Si Representative Leandro Leviste at the moment, no? If I'm not mistaken, based on the news that I received, na he's out of the country. No? So, ano itong mensahe po? No? Nandito po a video clip that I want each and every one of you who are monitoring itong TikTok Direct Talk with Nico ngayon po to watch and listen carefully po. Because this is another hot issue ngayon po. Totoo ba ito or hindi? May mensahe to prove that the President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos received kickbacks. No? Received kickbacks po. Let's watch and listen to this report po.
Pinatay at inilibing na ng Kamara kahapon ang impeachment complaints laban kay Pangulong Bongbong Marcos. Pero hindi pa sumusuko ang Makabayan Bloc na nag-endorso sa pangalawang reklamo laban sa Pangulo. Pinag-aaralan daw ng grupo kung paano pa magagamit bilang ebidensya laban sa Pangulo ang umano'y palitan ito ng text messages kay dating PLLO Undersecretary Adrian Bersamin noong nakaraang taon.
Mga komunikasyon sa pagitan mismo ng Pangulo at saka ni Undersecretary Adrian Bersamin. Ang lumalabas talaga ay siya yung personal runner, ibig sabihin utusan, Batman Bersamin. Complete na po ang 7.122 delivery sa akin. Tapusin ko po computation today. That was March 24, from July 10, 2025. Ito nga yung pagpapabot si Bersamin na meron pong cash delivery. Dadalhin natin sa 2 billion, dadalhin sa Nara residence. Okay? At ang sabi naman ng Pangulo, quote, sasabihan ko si John Maris. Oh.
Sabi ni Tino, pwedeng ibangga ang umano'y text messages na ito sa pahayag noon ni dating DPWH Undersecretary Roberto Bernardo.
I-correlate natin ito dun sa salaysay naman ni Bernardo na in March, meron siyang kinomplete na mga deliveries, including one delivery of is it around 2 billion ganon, in an armored van.
Nang tanungin kung sino ang nagpakita sa kanya ng messages, sabi ni Tino,
Isa nga po si Congressman Liviste sa sources.
Yes.
Ipapakita rin niyo rin po ba sa amin yung pong text messages?
Ako? Well, it's better that, for example, Congressman Liviste be the one. Bakit? Because he can explain the provenance of these records. Siya ang mas makakapagpaliwanag kung paano napasakay sa kanya ang mga records na ito.
ayon pa kay Tino, alam rin daw ito ni Representative Egay Erice at iba pang kongresista. Sinisikap namin kumpirmahin ito kay Leviste. Pero itinadala lang niya ang kanyang social media post na nagsasabing sa mga nagtatanong kung totoo bang may hawak siyang ebidensya, panoorin na lang daw ang mga pahayag ni Representative Antonio Tino at Egay Erice. Sa isa namang text message, kinumpirma ni Erice na ipinakita nga ni Leviste ang sinasabing text messages ng Pangulo at ni Bersamin. Sabi ni Erice, natakot daw si Bersamin na maging fall guy, kaya gumawa raw ito ng affidavit sa bahay ni Leviste sa Taal, Batangas. Ipinakita pa raw sa kanila ni Leviste ang CCTV footage ng pagdating ni Bersamin kasama ang ilang umano'y mga abogado. Nais ngayon ng Makabayan Block sa Kamara na maggamit ang mga ito sa mga investigasyon.
Hinahamon natin ang Office of the Ombudsman, gayon din ang kapulungan na ito. Itong bagong developments na ito, seryoso at hindi dapat ipagsawalang bahala. I-explore po ng Makabayan, nag-aaralan yung pag-file ng kaso laban sa mga opisyalis na sangkot.
Pero sabi ni Palace Press Officer Claire Castro, wala raw katotohanan ang mga ibinabato ngayon sa Pangulo. Hindi na raw bago ang mga intriga mula sa mga taong nais siyang patalsikin sa pwesto.
Alright, yan po. No? Mainit na istorya naman ito po. Totoo ba yon? Na may mga messages between President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos and Undersecretary Adrian Bersamin, no? About ang transaction dyan po sa kickback, no? So, na-confirm na si Representative Tonyo at saka si Representative Erice na nakita nila ang text messages po, no? And it came from Representative Leandro Leviste po. And accordingly, na mayroon din po si Representative o Congressman Leviste, CCTV video clip po, yung dumating ang grupo together with the lawyer, si Undersecretary Adrian Bersamin sa bahay niya po, dyan po sa Batangas. So, let's see what will happen next po. But according to Undersecretary Claire Castro, doon naman po sa kampo ng gobyerno, another fake news na naman po, walang katotohanan itong mga balita po. Expected that she will be saying this thing, and we will only know ang katotohanan, the truth, once Congressman Leviste will come out, of which he already assured and promised and pledged that he will make sure that whatever evidence mayroon siya po dyan po sa Cabral file, and ito naman po ang mga message niya, mga latest developments po mayroon siya po, and he will make sure that he will put it out during right time, right place po. Tingnan natin po. Mabigat ito po because this will connect now ang presidente sa kickbacks or sa anomalya po ng corruption, graft and corruption. So ito ang latest updates natin. But before I will go, let me share with you po ang another komentaryo. Coming from a very well-known media personality, and she's talking about ang Blue Ribbon Committee po. Let's watch and listen si Madam Professor Malu Tequia.
Ang problema natin dyan, iisa na lang ang
How do you assess the credibility validity of the Blue Ribbon hearing?
Alam mo, malaki ang belief ko kay Senator Ping Lacson, pero nung siya'y naging chairman ng Blue Ribbon, parati niya sinasabi, I will follow where the evidence would lead me. Perfect example, nandun na sila, ba't hindi natanong? Tapos, bakit hindi tinatawag si DBM? Hindi ba yung sinabi ko dati sa tingin ko dito sa show mo rin, yung paper trail, money trail, DBM lahat yan eh. Bakit hindi tinatawag si Secretary Pangandaman? Bakit biglang umalis? Wala na tayo narinig. Si ES, bakit umalis?
Hindi naman tawag si ES.
Si DPWH bumalik na, pero hindi rin tinatanong. So ang akin, may sacred cows mo pero protektahan si Senator Ping Lacson kasi hindi siya dati ganyan. Na hindi ko intindihan bakit umiiba yung landas ng pagtatanong niya at kung minsan siya pa at sumasagot dun mismo sa tinanungan niya. So, nakakalungkot dahil supposedly ang Senado credible eh. Dun sa ICI kasi, ang problema natin dyan, iisa na lang ang member. Hindi natin alam kung tapos na ba, may report na ba kayo, o nagsubmit kayo ng mga recommendation for cases, pero kahit yung as you put it, yung testimony ni Speaker Martin was not made public. That of Congressman Marcos was also not made public. If you really want to ferret the truth, then these two people are very, very important in the scheme of the flood control program.
Pero ngayon, pabago-bago. So you think may basihan itong mga sinasabi shot balik ng USP and will that also be detrimental for the institution of the Senate?
Alam mo, Attorney Jimeno, nagugulat kasi ako kay Senate President eh. He used to be a very calm leader, very inclusive, diba? When he was Senate President. Today, he's like leading the pack to attack whatever. So that is not leadership, no? You have to balance certain things. You have to balance your interest and the interest of the 23 Republic. If you cannot do that, there will always be the threat to remove you.
So, maaari, I mean, you're not discounting that possibility.
Every Senate President dreams to finish his term as Senate President, but the reality and the tradition is that one day you will wake up, I'm no longer Senate President, and that's a reality.
Alright, yan po, narinig natin kay Malu Tequia. So, ito po, the things that I want to share with you on a Thursday morning. And sana lang po, maski paano, I managed to give you the information that you deserve to get, no? Hindi naman lahat siguro, but yung mga importante lang po. And again, I will continue to make sure that I will monitor ang situation dyan po sa Pilipinas so that kung may mga updates, developments, malaking mga istorya po that you deserve to know, nandito tayo po sa Nick Talk, the Real Talk with Nico, and I will make sure that you will be properly informed. So again, I will say maraming salamat for making me a part of your day today. In the meantime, hanggang dito na lang po si Nico. I'll see you again in my next episode, and bye! I love you. Take good care of yourself.